Gorgons and Lamias and babies. Oh my. Hello everyone, I'm Triple J and welcome to Brain Food, where I tell you what's yummy and nutritious for your head. For today's episode, I'm going to be talking about HIllary Monoham's novel Snake Eyes, which is part of a series of novels and novellas called the Gods and Monsters series. Now, by this point, we all know about the urban fantasy genre. You take modern civilization as it is, sprinkle in a little bit of magical beings, and Pepto-Bismol, urban fantasy. But instead of vampires and werewolves and fairies, in Snake Eyes, HIllary Monoham uses Greek mythology. In particular, HIllary uses the Lamia and the Gorgons. And the Lamia is basically the top half of a woman, bottom half of a snake, and he came about because Zeus does what Zeus always does in Greek mythology, which is to have sex with a woman, make Hera jealous, and Hera curses the woman with a terrible condition. And then we have the Gorgons, which is basically, Medusa. Snake hair, and Lord only knows what she's got to do in order to condition and shampoo that mess. Now, the story is centered around Tanis, who is one of Lamia's humanoid daughters. That is, in all appearances' sake, she looks like a human, except that she has Wolverine snake extendable fangs that deliver venom, and she's got two penises just like a snake does. Tanis' job is to search out men, bring them back to the hold for Lamia to transform into a snake-like being, have sex with, and then devour. It's not a very pleasant job, and Lamia is not a very pleasant person, being physically and mentally and emotionally abusive to every one of her daughters that is not a true daughter like her. That is, top half woman, bottom half snake. Now the story really starts to ramp up when Tanis discovers a couple of things. One, the Gorgons, that is Medusa's other two immortal sisters, are on their way to kill Lamia and all of her children. Two, Tanis got her girlfriend Marie pregnant. And three, Tanis finds out that she can get women pregnant because Lamia has all the sex education knowledge of a Florida high school, which is kind of fitting considering this does take place in Florida. From there, it becomes an intense, suspenseful tale of survival as Tanis seeks to get herself, her best friend Bernie, and who is also a Lamia humanoid like herself, and Nari, along with their upcoming child, out from the clutches of Lamia and free from the danger the Gorgons represent. After all, how do you defeat something that is immortal and can turn you to stone with a glance, or as this book shows us, at a touch? HIllary does a wonderful job in crafting some pretty memorable characters in the form of Tanis and Nuri and, everyone else, and how you want to root for them in their succeeding in their, mission to just stay alive. Tanis is having had this terrible upbringing and being raised to do some really horrible things, basically acting as a bloodhound for new mates for Lamia to, mate with and then consume whole. You really do want her to live through it. And then you have her girlfriend Nari, who is, a fat Korean programmer who deeply loves her and who Tanis loves in return. In fact, throughout all the danger of the book, Tanis' number one concern is Nari, and then afterwards, their upcoming child. There was also a really great mixing later on in the story of voodoo magic and voodoo religion with Greek mythology that I really did quite enjoy. You often, when you come across an urban fantasy, usually have one set of rules for the world, for magic. But to see it come into play here with two of them intermixing and intermingling, I really did like it. HIllary did a really fine job of writing it out. I will offer this warning, though, which is that there is a lot of abuse that Lamia visits upon Tanis and those like her. It is mental, it is physical, and it is emotional. So if you have suffered any of those kinds of abuse, it could be, well, a bit triggering. So just a fair warning for you. Overall, this story was a fantastic read from beginning to end. I love the wonderful blend of Greek mythology with a modern civilization and voodoo religion all brought together to craft this fantastic story. There's murder and even mystery over what exactly happened all those years ago to get the Gorgons going after Lamia. And, well, the chasing, the suspense of it all, and Tanis doing everything, hanging on by just a thread, just to make sure that her own small family survives. I'm definitely going to be checking out the other books in the Gods and Monsters series, and I highly recommend that you do too. I'm Triple J, that's all I got left to say. Take care.